This is the Sports Porch, Black and Gold, with your hosts, the technical director, the Grand Schwabini, and Hockey Jesus. Come on, Pittsburgh. Let's show a little Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates love. The Sports Porch Black and Gold starts now.
Of course it does. The Sports Porch Black and Gold starts now. Yes, we are all over the world. That's right. We're all over the world on YouTube and on X. So click that subscribe button, hit the bell, and you'll know when we're live every Monday night at 7 p.m. I'm your technical director. That guy over there is Hockey Jesus. I'm going to switch this on the screen because it's going to look like I'm looking at you when I do that now. And down there, that's what the studio looks like tonight. We got ESPN Monday Night Football, queuing it up right there. You can visit us at theporcheslive.com. You can visit our shop at sportsporchshop.com. I drop the podcast right after this show on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or anywhere you get your friggin' podcasts. How you been, HJ? That's HJ.
Man, yeah. I tell you what, I'm still coming down from yesterday's win. That was an incredible win. Penguins did 3 out of 4 over the weekend also. So it's a pretty good sports weekend, I would say. I mean, we're not going to talk about Pitt because, they just eat shit. But hey, good for Aaron Donald anyways, right?
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, he calls this place home.
Tony Dorsett was in town, that's always a good thing. Yeah. But other than that, that franchise is just in disarray right now. It has been for so long, hasn't it? Yet they still manage to crank out time and time again, pro football player after pro football player after pro football player. But yet the university can't win shit.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, what are you going to do? It's just the way it's set up and the way recruiting is done nowadays. We're not here to talk about Pitt anyway. We're here to talk about all things black and gold sports. Pitt happens to be blue and gold.
Blue and gold. So they don't count until they change their colors. Forget them.
Yeah, seriously. Honest to God.
Although I'd rather adopt them than the Pirates, but that's a totally different subject.
Not anymore. Not anymore. The Grand Schwabini is notoriously not here tonight. He is a little bit under the weather, so we do wish him well. We hope that, he gets better, right?
Yeah, if he would have gotten his flu shot like I did, then he would have been fine.
Here
but
we go with the fucking flu shots again.
Instead, he had to go to a foreign country and without his immunization. You get what you ask for.
Oh boy,
you get what you ask for. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, that's true. You get what you ask for. I'm sure as he was getting on the plane, he said, does anybody around here know anybody who's got the flu and I can get it from them?
Please, on the way back, could you please breathe into my air so I can just be sick for the next 10 days?
Well, while Hockey Jesus has no compassion for you, Grand Schwabini, I do. I'm getting over it still. It's 2 weeks in and I still have it. Anyway,
I'll probably get it for Thanksgiving. Just in
That's
time.
A good idea.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
And you'll probably give it to me, so I'll blame you. Oh wait, you can't because I'm immunized.
That's right.
See,
Jesus Christ, you're doing this for your wife. You're not doing this for anybody but your wife.
She wanted me to get the COVID shot too. And I'm like, hey, draw the line.
Really? She wanted you to get the COVID shot?
No, she doesn't care anymore. She knows I'm never going to get a COVID shot.
All right. Well, that's a whole other show, a whole other station, whole other political spectrum.
But that's just the way it is.
How about that game yesterday? We did the post-game show. If you want to get our reaction right after the game, go back and watch that on YouTube at the Sports Porch Podcast. Of course, we're going to have reaction tonight. We've had 24 hours to kind of, soak it all in. And you know what? On the radio today, they were talking about Rudolph versus
Everybody
Rodgers.
was talking about it.
Did I say? I told you guys yesterday. Here it comes.
Here we go. What's going to be the problem? They even threw some Will Howard in there too.
I know. It's just
this town is so obsessed with the quarterback. It's kind of frightening.
Steelers fans have been so spoiled with quarterbacks for the last 20 years, other than, the most recent iteration of our quarterback room, the last 3.5, 4 years, that you forget how hard it is to, groom a quarterback, and they want the results. And it's like, look, There is no way Mason Rudolph. Now, I didn't get any updates on the Rodgers injury. I guess we'll hear more tomorrow.
They say he's 50. No, they said he's 50-50 for Sunday, which means if they're smart, they'll just sit him because why would you play him against the Bears? I mean, it's a nothing game, really. They just got to save him for Baltimore. I mean, you want him healthy for Baltimore.
Right.
So let Rudolph play. That's the way I feel about it. Unless he's 100%, why do that? Just let him heal.
Except that the Steelers haven't won in Chicago in like a bazillion years, and
a bazillion and one's not going to matter.
Well, right. And Rodgers, he kind of owns the Bears, but
I'm sure he wants to play in Soldier Stadium one last time.
Soldier Field. Yeah, I it's not that. It's like
they call it the spaceship now or something. I think since the renovations,
whatever it is. I think if he's healthy enough to play, he plays. I don't think there's any question.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That's why you signed him.
But if there is a question, if there's any question, you just sit. We all knew he was going to sit a couple games. Why not? Why not sit this one out? If he's got something going on with that left hand, just let it heal. Take an extra week.
Yeah. But pardon me, Pat Off Track is with us tonight again. Thanks, Pat. Looking forward to the Darnell Washington Sidney Crosby Love Fest. Oh, it's coming.
You know us, Pat. It's coming.
Don't you worry.
You just stick around for that.
Mike Lawrence back with us on YouTube. Thanks, Mike. I've heard and read he has a slight fracture in his left wrist. Yeah, that's what I've heard too. But
that's what everybody's saying.
Look, if he's got a broken wrist and it affects the way he plays, then you treat it like any other injury. And maybe Rudolph should start.
Right.
But anything beyond that, and shut your fucking mouth. I mean,
anything
come
like,
on.
Well, we knew he was always going to get injured. We should play Will Howard instead.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, look, I know I defended Rudolph like last year and the last couple of years because I feel like he did get a raw deal here. He was drafted to be the heir apparent to Ben. Those assholes in management said we had a first round grade on him, and then they drafted him in the third round, which I think is complete bullshit. But who cares?
It is. They're just making themselves sound smarter than they are.
Right, of course. And they always sound as smart as they really are. And so did he get a raw deal in the beginning of his career? A little bit, but it was a little hectic. They had a guy named Myles Garrett trying to kill him on the football field.
Who's still killing people.
Right. And so, and then he goes to Tennessee and he got screwed there. If you think about it, he probably thought he was going to be the starter, and he wasn't.
Yeah, he kind of got screwed there. But you know what? I get the feeling like Mason Rudolph doesn't care. He knows what he is. He knows he's a backup quarterback, and he's paid to come in and and do what he did yesterday. And I thought he did a great job yesterday. So if he ends up getting the starting nod on Sunday, let's hope that he can play like a good backup and get us another win.
He's got one of the best jobs on the planet, backup quarterback for an NFL franchise.
Yeah. You're not expected to win.
That's right.
You just have to come in and look good enough.
Yeah. And for all you Yinzers out there screaming for Mason Rudolph, get over it. Okay.
I haven't heard anybody screaming.
Well,
for him,
I heard some phone calls on the radio. People,
did you really?
He got a raw deal, this, that, and everything else. Yeah, he did. But Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback. And let's just,
people get paid a lot less to get the raw deal he got.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, what's he getting? $8 million a year?
Yeah, something like that. I think that's what Schwarber said in the post game. You're gonna make it today. You sound like you're not gonna make it.
I don't know. I'm
You're 50-50.
I'm 50-50. I feel fine. I just have the remnants back down here. So anyway,
you'd feel better if you got the flu shot.
I mean, all right, fuck it. I'm going to go get one just to shut you up.
Yeah, right.
All right. Sure, so the Steelers handed it to the Bengals. And we did our post game yesterday. What's up with all the Rudolph Rodgers talk? Let's get over that. Let's talk about something here that really kind of tickled my fancy, and we're going to watch it.
You're going to jump right into it.
The block at the left tackle. The muscular tight end Washington running roughshod, bulldozing.
Yeah, that's big.
Catch and run.
I got to do something. I got to do something about the video. We got the video feed I got going here. I don't know why
I tried to show you how to do it. Maybe we'll do a little tutorial afterwards.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we will.
Yeah. It's what you're doing. It's the way you're pulling it.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll get this progress. It's progress. So
I mean, you've seen my HJs. You see how smooth the video is on my shows.
I do.
I can show you.
The student has become the instructor.
Yes, yes, grasshopper.
So, so I love the fact we talked about this yesterday.
That is a great video, though, that you showed.
He's the locomotive.
The locomotive.
The locomotive. Yeah. I mean, how do you not get this guy involved in the game more? Defenses don't know how to figure him out. I think that was
even when they do, he's impossible to tackle once he gets going like that.
He really is.
He's just, I mean, what did they say? 265. Everybody knows he's a bit as 295 as he possibly could be.
Yeah. They say he's 6'6", 265. He's more like 6'11", 350.
Once he puts his cleats on, it's just like he grows 4 inches and gains 30 pounds.
Well, everybody who listens to us knows that. I mean, I've been calling for him for years, but I've never said he was going to be like the next great tight end. What I mean is, he's a weapon that you can't game plan for, So you have to, and Arthur Smith, I think, along with, encouragement from Aaron Rodgers is rightly working him into the offense. I think they're going to have to, it's very limited. He's not going to run post patterns. And deep outs and
you have to get him the ball within 5 yards, and hopefully nobody's right on him, so he can get a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, I think you could see him getting a 15-yard catch if it was put in the right spot.
Yeah, sure, down the middle, right.
I'd like to see him.
That's what was so surprising about that catch yesterday. It was on the outside. You don't see him on the outside very much.
Right.
But once he's on the outside and there's only like maybe a linebacker, an outside linebacker there or a cornerback, oh boy, if you're the defense, you're just like, I have no idea how to stop this guy from running me over.
Yeah.
And they just try and get in his way. That's all you can do. That's all you can really do.
Yeah. And I don't think that, I like I said, I don't think he's like the answer at tight end. But what is interesting is that our other two tight ends, now Freiermuth had a nice catch, but our other two tight ends are not getting used very much. And I thought Arthur Smith's offense was a tight end offense.
I have to admit that
I don't get it.
I think Jonnu Smith has been an utter disappointment.
Oh yeah. Definitely. He had 40 some catches at this time last year. He has 26 or 27 this year.
And I know part of it is the fact that, he's playing for the Steelers, and I know even Arthur Smith's offense likes to feature the tight end. When you have 4 tight ends, I guess he's the guy who gets lost in the mix.
Well, and it's how funny it is to say like Washington's the guy who gets lost. Because I mean, you can
I'm talking about Jonnu Smith getting lost.
Him actually getting lost.
I mean, he just doesn't get enough. He doesn't get enough balls, and Freiermuth does make the catches when he's thrown to, but clearly they're not using him like they want to use like they're using Washington. And I just think it's because of the size. And once again, everybody knows this about Aaron Rodgers. He picks a favorite, and if Washington is his favorite, then that's who he's going to throw to. And I think that's all that's really happening there. They have the 3 tight ends, so between the 3 of them, they probably got to have the most receptions amongst all tight ends in the league, I would think.
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that.
I don't know about that. I do know that our defense is either second or third in sacks now, which I think is pretty good.
Yeah, nobody's catching Denver. Denver's like 40 sacks ahead of everybody else. Although Jacksonville, they got that guy in Jacksonville who's sacking the hell out of guys.
I don't know who that is. But how
the only guy sacking guys in Cleveland is Garrett. He's sacking them like they're potatoes.
Yeah, well, he's going to have a shot at the record this year because what else does he have to play for?
Yeah, no doubt he is.
And like I said a couple shows ago, in my opinion, he has surpassed TJ Watt as a better player.
He's had 2 or 3 games where he's had 3 sacks?
At least. Well, he had 4 this past game and 5 a couple games ago.
Right,
and,
that's what I'm saying.
You could poo-poo them all you want, but I mean, he's still playing against NFL offensive guards and getting chipped by tight ends and fullbacks on the other side of that. Those guys are big, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, and he's doing it at a high level.
I'm not a Myles Garrett fan by any stretch of the imagination because I just don't believe in the Browns. So when you're playing for a failed franchise, I just kind of like, whatever. So you're the best You're the best guy in the failed franchise. Congratulations.
And speaking of Myles Garrett, if Rudolph plays this week, is this the Rudolph we're going to get?
Oh my gosh, no face mask.
Or is this the Rudolph we're going to get right here? Throwing a touchdown.
We'll probably get a little bit of both. Yeah, I think he'll keep his face mask.
Or would you rather have that guy, number 8, Aaron Rodgers, behind center? And my answer is that guy with a hairline fracture on his wrist over Rudolph. I think Rodgers is out to prove something. And our offense has not been great the last couple games. Our defense has relied on the splash plays. Look, we're still ranked 28th in the league. That's really bad. That doesn't get you a playoff win, no matter who the hell your quarterback is.
Well, that's true.
It doesn't. And, for all of this talk about, well, Rodgers looks like he's over the hill now. Look, this is what you signed up for, Pittsburgh. For everybody who was like, we're getting Aaron Rodgers, this is what you signed up for. The guy's going to get dinged up. And honestly, he went down a couple times this last game yesterday where I thought, that doesn't look good. Like they're.
Oh, yeah. I think it's been coming on, Yeah. Just from the week before when he ran that play where he got absolutely pulverized right before the goal line.
Yeah. He's just back. Yeah, I thought they were going to break him in half.
It's just a guy that's 41 years old is going to get injured. It's just the nature of the game. It's a violent sport. So
no, so it's not a violent sport.
Let's see what Rudolph can do, and let's pump the brakes on this Will Howard stuff. I have to admit, deep down inside, if you ask me, Would I mind not seeing Will Howard getting in if Mason Rudolph gets hurt? Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I'll be completely honest with you, just out of pure curiosity as to what the guy looks like, behind the offensive line, because we didn't see any of it in the preseason because he got hurt.
Right.
That's it. That's the only thing I feel. That's the way I feel about that situation, but. It's just out of pure kind of dark knowledge.
Well, what's funny?
I don't know what to call it.
What's funny is
maybe fantasy. I'm not sure.
Is if you're watching us on YouTube or on X right now, hit that subscribe button at the Sports Porch Podcast. Really appreciate that, and click notifications so when we're live every Monday at 7 p.m. But what's funny is we did the post game yesterday and last night after the game. So it's kind of like, has anything changed between yesterday and today? What the hell is that? What are you doing?
I wish I knew.
Yeah.
It's driving me nuts.
So if anything's changed for you between yesterday and today, let us know in the comments. We'd really appreciate that. And you can subscribe to the podcast too to catch up with us. Hockey Jesus here does a whole bunch of that stuff after Penguins games. But here we are again. Think about it. We're right past the midpoint of this season.
Right.
We signed a Hall of Famer as quarterback, and he's not playing like a Hall of Famer right now, but he's a Hall of Famer. But we're right back to where we started this year, where we started last year, where we started the year before. Like, who's our quarterback going to be? Not really. I think everybody understands Rodgers should be the quarterback if he's healthy. I hope they do. If you don't, just stop watching football because I think you're stupid. But
right.
We're going to be here at the end of the year too, and then of course the draft is here. In case you didn't know, the draft is here, and everybody's going to expect us to draft the best quarterback in Steelers history just because the draft is in Pittsburgh. And I heard somebody talking about this. It might have been McAfee actually, who I never listened to because
McAfee was talking about the Pirates.
Yeah, there's some shit going down with the Pirates about Skeens wanting to be a Yankee and stuff.
Oh,
we're gonna talk about that in the coming weeks because I made a prediction that I think is going to come true, and it's very interesting. But that's a different show. Somebody like McAfee said, what does it matter if your draft is in Pittsburgh? You still have to draft. It's like, so are they cobbling draft picks together because saving these draft picks because they want to make sure? What are they going to do? I'll tell you what, man, we're in for, and for those people who were like, you remember before this game, it was like, if they lose, will they fire Tomlin? No,
they're
flat
never
out. No.
I mean, how many times did people have to say, is Tomlin going to get fired before they realize Tomlin is never going to get fired?
No,
they clearly don't listen to us.
No. No, they should.
And they don't listen to most sane people because
they don't want to hear what we have to say because we speak the truth based on, what we see as the truth, which is, you're absolutely right. Let's say the Steelers finish with a losing record this year.
Okay.
Let's pretend that for a second.
Let's go into the land.
Let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that Tomlin and the Steelers...
They would have to go 2-5 to do that.
I get it.
Also,
I get it, but it's possible. That is possible with this
2-5?
Yeah, it's possible.
2-5 would be an epic failure.
It would be considered a collapse.
Yeah.
So,
and even then, it would just be by one game.
Right. So, would the Steelers and Tomlin, mutually part ways after this season like that? That could happen, but it would only happen if Mike Tomlin decided, you know what, maybe my message here is stale. And he wouldn't see it that way. He would see it as maybe this opportunity for me is stale. I can take my religion to another team.
Yeah.
If he decides that after having a bad year here, or even having a good year and losing a playoff game,
right,
that'll happen. But they will never fire Mike Tomlin. It will not happen. And when they started last week talking about potential trades to the Giants with Dayball,
that was quite fun.
Show of hands or comments. How many of you out there were laughing your asses off? I mean, how much controversy does the media have to cook up around here just to get ratings?
Mm-hmm.
Honest to God, like that would ever fucking happen. I mean, I know there's family connections, of course. They all run in the same circles. So you're going to have, cousins that meet people and daughters that meet sons. And yeah, the NFL is now a family affair, much more so than when we were younger watching it, not only in the management and the ownership ranks, but also in the player ranks. You got players, sons now, plus Shadur Sanders,
sure,
is in there. And the list goes on and on.
On and on. JP Jr.
Yeah, right. JP Jr. I mean, name it. Name them. Name a position.
You can just go on.
The Mannings, I mean, that's just the way it is. So Tomlin's not going anywhere. Rodgers is the quarterback. If he can play next week in Chicago, I say you play him because he's got a great record there. He's very comfortable winning there. And in case you haven't noticed, the Chicago Bears, all of a sudden, that number one pick is starting to look like a good pick.
Yeah, Caleb Williams. Yeah. You give him an offensive mind.
Give him a coach.
Guess what? He can run the offense.
Yeah, and that Eberflus in Chicago last year was just a total disaster.
Yeah, of course.
I could see it on his face every time I saw the Bears play.
Just terrible.
But
but I mean, right now the Bears are the third best team in the NFC.
Yeah. So here's what's going to happen. We're gonna listen to the press conference tomorrow. We're gonna see if there's an update on Rodgers. There's going to be a billion questions for Tomlin about Rodgers and Rudolph. Tomlin's going to get pissed off and probably, after throwing out a bunch of Tomlinisms, maybe he works in a new one. He's going to walk off the stage. And then we're going to continue to be constantly programmed around here to talk about Rudolph versus Rodgers, whether Rodgers is starting or not.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be, if Rodgers is out, then it's going to be, well, if Rudolph starts and wins, should we leave him in?
Yeah.
And that's only because we're cursed in the sense that a couple years ago, he won 3 straight games to lead us into the playoffs.
Right.
So, yeah. I mean, look, this all goes back to the fact, once again, that Tomlin can't develop quarterbacks. And once they took away his franchise quarterback, once that guy retired, we've been saying it for years on this show, folks, watch out. Watch out. So then it becomes this dilemma. And this dilemma is Tomlin a good coach or is he a bad coach? Because even when he has shit to work with, somehow he ends up over 500.
Right.
I mean, that's a horrible place to be as a fan base. You want to be
This is where we've been for so long.
I know.
It's hard to remember a time when we weren't. You know what I mean?
Yes, I can remember the 90s. I can remember the 90s.
I mean,
when we were with Power, when we were building
in the Tomlin regime.
Well, there is no time other than we won the Super Bowl and it was yeehaw. And then you're willing to give him a little slack for a couple years, but then it's like we need to make it back. And every year we hover around 500. So
I know this wasn't on your list of things to talk about, but since I've just been kind of trolling over here.
I didn't have a list tonight.
Oh, good. So,
well, I kind of did.
Let me hear your thoughts on this. Okay. I'm just looking at the playoff situations, right?
Right.
Broncos 95%, Patriots 98%, Colts 90%. Bills 92%. Okay. The last 3 spots are occupied by the Steelers, the Chargers, and the Jaguars right now. Right. And right now, the Steelers are in 4th only because they're in top of the division. The Chargers are sitting at 60%. The Jaguars are sitting at 64%. And the Steelers are sitting currently at 39% chance of making the playoffs. 39% chance, while meanwhile, the Ravens are on the bubble in the 10th position and currently sit at 77% chance of making the playoffs. That's just wild to me.
Yeah.
Like the fact that, and I understand why. I know why it's like that.
Right.
Because they haven't played the Steelers yet, and they expect them to beat the Steelers twice.
At least once.
And if they beat the Steelers twice, then they're going to be in.
Right.
Okay. But if the Steelers, I did this, the New York Times / The Athletic, they're the same company now. I did some scenarios last week. And if they beat the Bengals and if they beat Miami and if they beat the Baltimore twice, they're going to be in. So, and they have a more difficult road if they lose the first game to Baltimore, but they can still be in. They can still win the last game of the season if they win 2 of those games instead of just 1 of those other games. So
what are you asking me? I mean, you're outlining these scenarios.
I'm just saying, like, I'm looking at the playoff in the NFC. It's just as bad. Like 99% Eagles, 99% Rams, 85% Buccaneers, 90% Seahawks, 73% Packers, 85% 49ers, and the Bears are at 59%. Now, in the Lions are at 75%. So it's almost like the Bears and the Steelers are in very similar situations. They're currently firmly in a playoff position, but yet if you look at the statistics for the remaining of the year, nobody believes that they're going to make the playoffs. I think that's just wild to me, that these teams could be playing. I mean, I wouldn't say the Steelers are playing great.
No.
But let's just say they're playing good enough to be leading their division by at least a game. And they play a team like the Ravens twice, so therefore they're automatically thought of as a team who's going to lose those games. It's surprising to me, I guess, is what I'm saying.
I look at it and say,
Baltimore
this is the way it is every year.
The Baltimore is not a juggernaut team this year. Like, no. I would say if they had to play the Bills twice in order to win the division,
tough.
I would feel much worse about that situation.
Yeah, but the Bills got beat by the Dolphins. I called it. So anything can happen.
Yeah,
and the Broncos beat the
but
Chiefs, and I called that too. So anything could happen, and we're going to get to that in a second on our porch pick.
It's surprising to me. Like it's just surprising.
Well, I don't think that this year is going to end up any different than any other year that we've seen in the last at least 10. And at this point right now, it's tough. I think the Steelers will make the playoffs. I actually think they will win the division only because they're ahead in the division at this point in the year.
Yeah.
And for Baltimore right now, I love how we pick apart games and say must win. It doesn't matter because it's not in the division. I get the implications of the records and how they stack the records if there's a tie or whatever. I get it. Actually,
I'm looking at a more a sooner playoff predictor. The Steelers are at 28% and the Ravens are at 83%.
Yeah. And they're not, they're what, 2 games behind?
This is up to date.
No. I mean, the Ravens are 2 games behind us right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah, technically one. If they won and we would lose.
Okay, gotcha.
Then,
all right.
No, we would probably still be ahead of them in the tiebreaker, depending on whether they played us or not.
Yeah.
To get to that win.
They are 6-4, 5-5. Well, it's just you look at it, their defense is worse than ours. They've only scored 6 more points than we have. And they're the top scoring team in the AFC North. I mean, I think it's really based on history. And like you said, they're not expecting the Steelers to win both of those games. And they might be thinking they're going to lose both. Basically, you look at the defense and interceptions and pick sixes and sacks are all great. But on, behind that, the defense really, other than that, performs very poorly. So, we don't know. We have no idea. And that's why we play the game. And that's why we watch the game. And that's why Steve continually updates himself on statistics during the
I know.
I mean, what are you doing? You're going down a rabbit hole. We're trying to have a show here and you're going down a rabbit hole.
I'm listening to you, and you're making a lot of sense.
Okay.
So I'm just agreeing with you in my
head. Could we isolate that part? I'm listening to you and you're making a lot of sense.
Well, I thought you were recording everything.
I am recording everything.
So you can
play it.
That's
going to come back on.
You can put it on a meme if you want.
You heard it
just
here,
play
folks.
It over and over and over and over.
Yep. This guy right here. I'm listening to you. And it makes a lot of sense.
Every time.
Yep, it's going to be a loser every time.
Every time.
Yep, I got to figure out a way to make the volume better on that.
Yeah, good luck with that.
All right, so listen, guys. You know how we think around here. We think that Aaron Rodgers, if he's healthy enough, should play. Obviously, we'll all listen to the Tomlin press conference tomorrow. But if you've changed your mind about anything that happened yesterday, please comment. If you haven't yet already, click the subscription button, subscribe on YouTube at the Sports Porch Podcast. Really appreciate that. We're over halfway to 500 subscribers now.
We're there.
Yeah, that's how you can support us.
Put us over the end.
Yeah, maybe you can
just hit that subscribe button, and you can get us there.
Every Monday night, 7 p.m. So, and if you've got something to say, you can join the show. You're welcome to. You just type that little whatever that's called, link in the
the
there.
link thingy.
The link thing. All right, let's move on to porch picks here, okay?
I'm not sure I want to do that.
No? What do you want to do instead?
Because I just don't want to relive my picks from last week.
So in other words, we are going to move on to porch picks. All right.
I guess you're in charge of the ship.
Well, for right now. Porch picks, what do we do? Well, every week we pick the Thursday night game, the Sunday night game, and a Sunday game. We keep track of the record at the end of the year, and then whoever wins nothing, and whoever loses does not get to suffer because I'm dealing with cowards around. Well, I can't say that about Steve. He did the wing challenge thing, but, you got to get the Grand Schwabini to hop on this.
We do. You're right about that.
I don't even think he's watching tonight. I think he's just so upset that he's sick and he can't be here that he crawled into bed. Leave us a comment.
Nonsense. He's probably watching football.
All right, last week, Jets at the Pats. We all had the Pats. Seahawks at the Rams. Mark and Chris had the Rams. Steve had the Seahawks. Sunday bonus game because there were so many good games on. Mark and Steve had the Chiefs. Second week in a row, picked a big upset. TD had the Broncos. Then the Sunday night game, Lions at Eagles. Chris and Steve had the Lions. Eagles were on Mark's docket. Steve ended up 1-3. Mark and Chris were 3-1. Still a close game here. Still a close year. The TD, myself, I'm now 20-14. HJ is 19-15, tied with Grand Schwabini at 19-15. This week, we're going to start the Thursday night game. The Thursday night game is, you got it, the Bills at the Texans. Can't really see that on our screen there. Not sure I was thinking ahead on that one.
Well, this
Bills
is what happens when you don't plan ahead.
The logos are behind us.
Are we only doing 3 this week?
Yeah, we're only doing 3.
Now that you got the math all thrown off. Thursday night,
Bills at Texans. I'm going to see how much you're paying attention. I'll just give you Grand Schwabini's pick is the Bills.
And that is my pick.
Okay. And I'm going to go with the Bills, too. Because is Davis Mills still playing quarterback for those idiots down in
guess
Houston?
So.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that C.J. Stroud was still out.
Yeah. Mike Lawrence. Oh, Jamar Spitman Chase got a 1-game suspension. Any news on the penalty for Jalen Ramsey? You know what?
I think he got his penalty. He got thrown out of the game. I think that's it.
Yeah, and let's address that real quick and then go back to picks.
It's actually a good thing to bring up.
Yeah, which we didn't. First of all, I think Ramsey totally screwed that up. I don't care what Jamar Chase did to him. You don't retaliate. And if you're a Pro Bowl player and a Super Bowl winner, that's what you teach those players. Okay, there's nothing that's part of the game. It's part of the game. Trash talking is part of the game. And yes, I get it. Spitting. If I'm in a coffee shop and I spit on somebody and they take a swing at me, okay, I get it. I asked for it. But when you're a professional and your team and the game is on the line and some idiot spits in your face like Jamar Chase, walk away. He got thrown out of the game. I don't care. And for, the media personnel who are trying to spin this as, well, spitting is absolutely uncalled for, and it's kind of like walking the line. And then they say things like, well, what if it was a playoff game? It doesn't matter whether it was a playoff game or a regular game. Every game in the NFL means something, and you're setting an example. Turn the other cheek, man. Walk away. And obviously, we already know he's a hothead. So, but I disagree with that 100%. I think not only should Chase have been suspended for a game, but I think Ramsey should have been suspended for a game too, because he threw a punch. So I know HJ disagrees with me. Go ahead, HJ.
Well, I agreed with you at first when I saw it on the field, when I saw it happen. What I saw, what the media was giving us at the time. First of all, I didn't think he threw a punch. I thought he reached his hand out and grabbed him by his face mask, and that's different than a punch.
Yeah,
okay?
I guess.
So I didn't feel like he threw a punch, but I thought at the time that was a absolutely ridiculous thing to do, because Jamar Chase is just baiting him, and he just baited him into doing something that was stupid, and obviously would spill over from the play before, where they were both in each other.
I think it was spillover from the entire game.
Of course. Yeah, and that's what the counselor said. So I was there with you. I was like, that's a dumb thing to do, Ramsey. And then I saw the up close video of the spittle coming out of Jamar Chase's mouth. And it wasn't just he was speaking and it was coming out of his mouth.
He was spitting.
The guy literally spit on him. And let me just tell you something. In Pennsylvania, spitting on a person, it can be charged as a minor offense or a summary offense on a third-degree misdemeanor. A penalty can range from $25 to $1,000, and up to a year in prison. So I say we put Chase in a prison for a year.
Yeah.
We make him give the $1,000 to the sports porch. And
that's a great idea.
And let's just call it even at that point, right?
I'm on board. If we're getting money out of this, I'm on board 100%. I'm on board.
Maybe he donates half of his salary that he won't get because he'll be in prison to us.
Yeah,
that would be even better. We're not asking for it all, Jamar.
Chase for jail. Chase for jail. Chase for jail.
So I think now that's, to me, that's egregious.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But what isn't egregious is for him to get suspended for a damn game. And what's also ridiculous is the fact that the refs did not notice that happen. Didn't even like go to Ramsey and be like, what happened here? And he could have said, you see this spit? He spit on me.
Yeah.
And then it would have been clear that he would have just gotten kicked out for the game. They both would have gotten kicked out. Chase probably still would have gotten the fine because you can't spit on somebody. I'm sorry. That is not part of the game of football.
But they didn't see it happen.
They did not see it happen.
Yeah. So they can't,
but they should have. That's my point.
Maybe.
NFL refs need to get their head out of their ass and onto the field and see what's going on, especially when they know those guys have been going at it all game long.
You've got a good point.
Yeah. And do I think he went over the edge? I do not, from the fact that he got spit on. But I did at the time think he did. But once you get the full picture, to me, Jamar Chase, come on, dude.
Yeah,
and then for him to lie about it to the media.
Yeah,
I never opened my mouth to that guy. Okay, I got it. But when they said specifically, did you spit on anybody? And he says, I did not spit on anybody. Come on.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I did not.
Another spitting problem.
That's exactly.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, so as far as that goes, I think Chase deserves what he gets. And what makes it great is anytime he sets foot in the stadium now, people are going to let him have it. Steeler fans are not going to let him live this down the rest of his career, and they shouldn't, and nobody should. That's absolutely ridiculous. If Jalen Ramsey spit on somebody, you would be screaming bloody murder about that guy. Like, what is wrong with him?
Yeah, you're right.
He is talk about undisciplined. Talk about being almost an animal to have to spit on somebody. That you get so upset that you got held to 2 catches for 4 yards that you got to spit on somebody. Come on, man. You can do better than that. That's my take on the Jamar Chase situation.
All right, what's your take? We'd love to hear it, see it, read it, talk about it, think about it. Chris Chada, what if everything starts clicking and coming together? And we're going to go back to porch picks in a sec. What if everything starts clicking and coming together for the Steelers and they get to the Super Bowl?
I'm just wondering what it would take to get to that level.
There's a lot of mediocrity in the AFC. Just saying, that's a really interesting sentence.
Well, there isn't. Right there's not a lot of mediocrity.
It's a shift.
I mean, New England's 9-2.
Yeah.
Indianapolis is 8-2. The Broncos are 9-2. And the Steelers lead the AFC North, and they're 6-4.
Okay,
it's just we're in a shitty division, Chris.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the problem. But we did beat Indianapolis. We probably feel good playing against Jacksonville, but maybe we shouldn't. We definitely would not feel good about playing against the Chargers. We just got beat by them, and they're 7-4. I mean, hell, Kansas City's on the way looking out. They're at 5-5 right now. They're in big trouble.
Okay, so let me address this in this fashion. Chris, I think there's a shift going on in the AFC right now. I think we've seen peak Patrick Mahomes. Doesn't mean he's not gonna get another shot, another bite at the apple. I think he will. And we may have seen. I'm sorry, Pat, off track. We may have seen. And it's going to sound crazy right now, peak Josh Allen, because he just ran for 3 and rushed or passed for 3. I get it. But by that, I mean like peak Bills, And now all of a sudden we've got the Broncos, the Patriots, and the Colts. And this is what I want to get to real quick.
I don't believe in the Colts.
That's where I'm going. Broncos, Patriots, Colts. Of those 3, who is a definite contender, who is a possible contender, and who is a pretender? I say the Patriots are a definite contender. Sorry, Steelers Nation. Drake May looks like a real quarterback who can play the game and play it well, and they've got a real coach. And I think the Patriots are back. They're the real deal. They are a contender this year for the Super Bowl, no doubt. And I know I made a weird pick at the beginning of the year. We can relive all that shit later, but I think the Broncos are a maybe. They just beat the Chiefs. They were 2-17 against the Chiefs.
I know.
Now they're 3-17, but they beat the Chiefs.
Yes.
And then you have the Colts. They're the pretender. The Colts are the pretender. HJ?
I mean, I'm looking at the data here. And according to the data tells me that the Colts are for real. They've got 321 points for and only 206 points against.
Right.
That means the Broncos are for real because they have got less points for, but a little less points against, a plus 65. The New England Patriots are for real. They're a 292 and 206. They're even better. So if you're looking at whether a team has both offense and defense, all 3 of those teams have both offense and defense. Now, let me just go to the sniff test, okay? And the sniff test is, do they have a quarterback that I trust can get them to the Super Bowl? I don't trust any of these quarterbacks to get them to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. I can absolutely see Bo Nix getting to a AFC Championship game. I can see Daniel Jones losing a first playoff game, and I can see Drake May winning a playoff game and then losing a playoff game. So honestly, I think I'm agreeing with Chris Chad. I think it's wide open from that standpoint. I would much rather be worried about playing Josh Allen in a playoff game, either at home or on the road, because that guy's got what it takes. He's got the sniff test that it can at least get him to the AFC Championship. Can he get him over the hump? I think he can if he has to play against Bo Nix or Drake May or Danny Dimes. Honestly, I mean, think about it. There's no way you would say that he's not going to beat them in an AFC championship to get to their first Super Bowl.
You're anchoring, Klein. The Colts are fierce. I'm anchoring. I'm also just giving you my opinion, Pat, off track. I swear.
Because, look, the Colts, you stop Jonathan Taylor, that team's done. The Patriots, they're a little bit more balanced. They're a little bit more difficult to beat. You can't just stop their running game and then expect them to stop anybody. And also, think about the Patriots. They don't have a number one wide receiver. They got a bunch of 2 wide receivers, but they got 3 damn good 2 wide receivers. Okay.
Yeah.
Denver Broncos, once again, if you stop Knicks, are you worried about R.J. Harvey now?
No.
Because J.K. Dobbins is out for the year?
No, but they have an amazing defense.
But their offensive line is damn good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the thing. Like, there's not a guy on there where you're like, there's no way you're going to stop him. And the only team that's left that has that is really the Buffalo Bills. And should the Baltimore Ravens sneak in, you probably feel that way about Lamar Jackson. But you definitely don't feel that way about any Pittsburgh Steeler. Like, if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers and you make it over the Ravens, everybody's looking like, yeah, we can take out Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to go very far.
Yeah.
And what running back do you need to stop? Jaylen Warren? Yeah. No problem.
Yeah.
You just have to worry about the splash defense. And that's always a concern when you play the Steelers.
All right. So Thursday night, Bills at Texans. We all have the Bills. Let's go to the next porch pick.
That was quite a tangent.
It was, but it was fun. The Colts at the Chiefs. Your picks in the comments. The Grand Swabini has picked the Chiefs. What about you, HJ?
Colts at the Chiefs. Good Jesus.
This is a must-win for the Chiefs. They have no choice. If they lose this game, I think their season is 98% over, and I don't give a shit what that little machine you use says.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
And I think, you know what? What the hell? Indianapolis. Let's go with the Colts.
Colts.
Why not? It's a TD pick.
Yeah.
If they're for real, if they're the juggernaut that they think they are, why not?
Yeah. I'm going.
They had the week off.
They did have the week off. You know what? I'm going with the Grand Schwabini. I'm going with the Chiefs because it's an absolute must win and it's at home. And
it's the end of an era. So it's got to happen at some point.
I see a shift, not the end of an era, but this is an absolute.
It's an end of an era.
100%.
They're going to have to get rid of Andy Reid.
Yeah.
They're going to have to get Coach Tomlin out there to help out. Out.
You heard it here
Patty
first.
Mahomes.
Mike Tomlin will be coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, thanks for jinxing me, boys.
No. I think Mahomes is coming to Pittsburgh.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Mike Lawrence, Chiefs in a bounce back game. Okay, Sunday night game.
Tomlin's not leaving the Steelers.
Sunday night game. This is a good one. Bucks at the Rams. Who do you got? In the comments, Bucks at the Rams.
Rams are hot right now.
Mark, the Grand Schwabini, has picked the Rams. HJ.
No, I'm letting you go.
Oh, next. You want me to go?
I was 1-3.
Bucks at the Rams. I'm going to take the Bucks. I know the Rams are playing well, but I think Baker's going to come back in to the stadium that he baked in when he revived his career, and he's going to show them what it's all about. So Chris is going with the Bucks.
Oh man, I'm sorry. This is going to take a few seconds here. I think the Rams are the tops of their division.
What's up, Yoha's son in the house? Thank you.
I definitely got that right. So they're tops of their division. Oh man, give me the Bucks. Why not?
Steve's going to go with the Bucks.
Let's let Schwaber get back into this.
All right, Mike Lawrence, Rams with Matthew Stafford. Yeah, I mean, what can I tell you? We're going to do that. The Steelers playing Sunday at 1. Sunday 1.
Who would they even play? No, they play the Bears. I think it's a 4:00 game.
Is it a 4:00 game?
I don't know. I'll look it up.
Yeah, you go ahead and look it up. I had it up here and then I turned it off because that's what I do. All right. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube or on X and you haven't hit that subscribe button or the follow button, please do so. On YouTube at the Sports Porch Podcast. Click notifications. You'll know when we're live because this is the Sports Porch Black and Gold. We're live every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. and we do post-game shows. This week, I'm going to try to get out a...
no, it's a 1 o'clock game. 4 o'clock against the Bills the next week.
Bookmark this in your calendar, guys. Put it in your calendar after the Bears-Steelers game. We're going to be doing you good for the post-game?
Oh,
that? Yeah. We're going to be doing a post-game show.
Unless I'm sick.
We want you all...
But that probably won't happen because I got my flu shot.
Yeah, I know. Jesus Christ. So that's how we're going to get... I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about anymore because you won't stop talking about flu shots.
You should have gotten yours.
Post game after the Steelers game.
Post game
on Sunday.
I like the way you just repeat it. That way it's going to stick in your craw.
Hopefully it's going to stick in everybody's craw. To my right in the studio and my left on your wonderful screen, I have a guy who is known as Hockey Jesus.
HJ for short.
HJ, Hockey Jesus, preaches on the podcast after every single Penguins game. He goes live on YouTube right here at the Sports Porch Podcast. Been picking up some live viewers lately. Little game recap. A little bit of highlight action there. I love how you break down the highlights. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I try and do something a little obscure.
I only wish you could. There's got to be a way that you can make your cursor or your arrow like bright green or something.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
I figured you would be.
That's the next thing that's coming out.
Because if you can do that, then because I'm always like, where's the arrow?
I try and switch it around as much as I can, but it is hard. I know people don't see it.
Yeah. So anyway, Hockey Jesus preaching on the podcast
for you guys.
Listen, there's some excitement brewing about the Penguins now because they're, and I'm gonna quote the official record. They're 10-5-4, right? 10,
Come on,
10,
why
5,
do you
4,
do
which,
that?
Hold
Are
on.
you gaslighting
Give me a second. No, which to you is 10-9.
10-9 at 24
because
points.
those four overtime losses are actually losses. I'm with you.
10-9, 24 points. Say it after me.
10-9, 24 points. I got you.
Yes.
But there is some excitement brewing because we're getting into that Thanksgiving, season here in another week and a half.
We're 3 games away from it.
And let's say we go on a real hockey bender and win those 3 games.
We don't have to. We could lose the 3 games and still be in a playoff spot.
I get it, but I mean therein lies the excitement.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so
that's my point.
So if you want to get the game recaps, wait till after the game, hop on YouTube. We also drop it on the podcast. But right now, let's talk about the excitement. I know. Who is it? Brunick hasn't played in a couple weeks.
Hasn't played in a couple weeks. Right. People didn't realize that.
Let's talk about the excitement and where you come. Todd Ross says, tell HJ that Moonshine will take care of his flu problems.
That's actually a much better diagnosis from Todd Ross.
He's not the one that had the flu problems. That was me and the Grand Schwabini. Claims,
and he doesn't take moonshine anymore.
Yeah,
and we know of.
I don't take moonshine anymore. Sassafras and me are very good friends.
That's true. Sassafras is you.
We're like best
Sassafras are us.
Yeah.
Moonshine.
Yeah.
No.
Me and Yoho's son. Woo. Anyway, so talk about the excitement.
The excitement is the same as it's been all season. And actually for me it's ramped up a step because the Penguins just got off of a losing 5 out of a 6 skid. When you lose that many in a row, and I get it, they got like 3 loser points in that 5 out of 6 game skid. So it's not like they weren't gaining points, but when you lose that much, you're going to do that in the season. The question is how do you respond? Now, granted, we responded against Nashville Predators, one of the worst teams in the league.
You split, right?
But what they did was Muse, the head coach, right?
Yeah.
He made some really good moves. I mean, he basically put a new guy on the first line, put Kindle back on the third line, moved Kevin Hayes, a bum, up to the second line, and it all worked out really well. And that's what I love about this team. They've lost a little bit of their youth because Koivunen got hurt, and they're not playing Brunick, which is something I'll get to in a second.
Right.
And they brought up some of the guys last year who were big anchor on this team. Guys like Graves who hadn't been playing well, but I'm telling you, like, compared to last year, Carlson has been light in day because of Witherspoon. And I just think that this team, the way they've been playing and the fact that just came off of a 5-game skid and the coach did something to help that is probably the best thing that could have happened to the Penguins, because we've known that the new way they play, which is they don't always pinch. All the defensemen aren't pinching all the time. It's not offense all the time. It's a little bit of defense mixed in there. We know that that's working well for the team, but other teams have kind of figured it out. And it seems like when they need to press the pedal, like when they're up 2-1, they need to press the pedal to get to that third goal. But instead, it seems like they can't get to that third goal, and then they get tied, and then that's how they end up with a loser point or sometimes losing the game. They've found a way to get away from that funk. You can get in that funk and never get out of it.
Right.
Okay. They found a way to get out of that funk by just switching up some of the lines a little bit. And they have a lot of injuries. I've mentioned this before. The fact that Raquel is hurt, played on their top line, and the fact that Brazeau, who is a nobody, but fit in perfectly on that second line. Both of those guys are out. So essentially you're taking your first and your second line and you're basically turning them useless. That's a hard thing to do. And they had to basically bust up the third line, which was working well, to be able to do that. Now, and on top of that, on the fourth line, Noel Acciari has been hurt too. So now your fourth line's messed up because he's your grit down there. And now Lizotte he might have the puck, but every once in a while he's getting blown up. And it's a big problem. So I think that's what I'm excited about when I'm watching this team. Muse's system, his ability to make changes. It's just a beautiful thing to see, and we're currently in a playoff spot with everything that's around whenever you get to it. That's not what the Muse system is. The Muse system is you don't pinch unless you've got a good opportunity to keep the puck in the zone. And you're still pinching. You're still playing your defenseman as offensive in the offensive zone, but you're not taking chances when they're not necessary. So therefore, you don't see guys like Carlson just basically leave his defensive position and just go for escape. That's not happening in the Muse system. And that's why you're not seeing these, 2-on-1, 3-on-2 breaks that you used to see 4 or 5 times in a game under the Sully system. You don't even see them, but maybe once or twice in a game. And when you do, you can see the guys pushing back to get back to take that advantage away from them. Usually on like a 2-on, 3-on-2 situation, where you've got the third forward coming back to take that third guy out of the play. And I've actually highlighted that a couple of times in some of the highlights, especially with guys like Novak, who are new to the team and know how to play that system. It's actually a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing.
Okay, so let's kind of draw this out into the rest of the year based on what we've seen through the first 19 games, right? We're about almost a quarter of the way through the season. They're in a playoff position. Obviously, the coaching change has helped because it's basically fresh eyes.
Fresh eyes.
Sullivan won back.
Sullivan never would have played this many rookies.
No, of course not. Sullivan
he never would have kept Kindle around. That's for sure. Never would even have given him a chance.
Right, and in his defense, he had what he thought was a winning formula. It just kind of got off track. You can
see how well it's working for him in New York.
I get it. I'm just saying.
One win at home.
Once his style of coaching, once the lineup that he had to play with either matured or changed, and he wasn't willing to adjust. And after you've won back-to-back cups, I can understand that to a certain extent. Right. So we have fresh eyes. We have fresh eyes. I do want to point out that Pat Off Track says it's a miracle that any Drexel girls liked you, Steve. Well, you didn't marry a Drexel girl, so, right?
And that was a damn smart idea.
Yeah. Sorry.
No offense, Drexel girls. I'm sure you're much prettier than they were back then.
I have no idea. I mean, I was at Drexel recently with Schwaber, but we didn't see any girls. All we saw was history.
He's just jealous of my hockey knowledge, and because he knows the Buffalo Sabres are going to do the same thing they do every year.
Aren't they talking about moving Buffalo back down into the AHL? I thought that was going to happen.
That's a little harsh.
Yeah, you think so?
But they might.
Yeah.
So you're right.
Fresh set of eyes.
Fresh eyes
brings a little bit
talent.
Right, a little bit more excitement. Yeah. Okay, so what do you think the best? I don't care about the worst that can happen, because the worst that can happen can be they revert back to, oh my God, we're playing above our head. We got a new coach.
Right.
It's kind of like I always say in the NFL in the past, you get a new coach in the NFL, the best you can hope to do is 500 that year. That's my opinion.
Right.
Just because you got a new culture, new players, new system. So project this out over what do you think is realistic for the Penguins to do this year? First round of the playoffs exit, or barely miss the playoffs, or what? And keep in mind, we know still 60 games to go, plus 60 plus games to go.
Yeah. All
60 going to be, post-gamed by yours truly, Hockey Jesus. He's been doing it. This is his third year in a row. God bless him. But what's your take on that? What do you think the absolute most you could hope for this year is?
Oh,
realistically.
The absolute best I think you can hope for this year is that we make the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh, so you think and when I say best you can hope for, I mean best you can hope for that you think is, even if it's an outlier, it's actually a possibility.
What do I think is realistic?
Yeah.
I think it's realistic now to think this team could make the playoffs.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah, and frankly I'm shocked that I'm saying that.
I think you are.
Because I thought that these injuries and not knowing what Muse it would be able to do, they got off to a super hot start. Okay,
they did,
and that's going to help them. But what's going to help them now is good hockey from players they didn't expect to contribute,
and it looks like they're getting that.
And they are getting that. That's exactly right. Like the Novaks of the world are pitching in. They're even playing up on the first line and looking like they can play there. Sidney clearly wants to make the playoffs again. He's tired of not being in the playoffs.
Listen,
and the reason I say the Eastern Conference Finals is because that guy gets into the playoffs and he's playing in a situation that's positive, as opposed to all the negative stuff that happened for the Penguins in the past. And also, let's face it, having Murashov up already, he's a wild card at this point. Like if Jari's hurt, okay, and if Murashov plays good, better than expected, and Sheloff can do what he's been doing, which has been 2 good games, maybe 1 bad game, there's no reason to think that they can't win a couple playoff series with this team. I mean, they're just that good. I'm frankly shocked that Ben Kindle is as good as he is. You never see a kid like that come up and just fit right in with a guy like Sidney Crosby. It just, you don't know. There are no hockey players that have that kind of IQ, but Kindle has it. And the thing is, he can create that magic on the third line. He can't do it on a first or a second line yet. He's not that good. But you can see him being able to dish the puck to people when he's centering that third line. That it's just, it's actually quite fun to watch. And I think once some of these other kids come up, like we haven't even seen Rutger McGroarty come up yet because he's still injured. Koivunen still trying to figure things out. Maybe he's not as good as I thought he was. But if Murashov's the real deal, now they've got 2 goalies, and goaltending's everything.
Yes.
I mean, if you can have a goaltender that can run at a 9:10, 9:20 pace, it's just the way it works. It works well, and it's a recipe for success.
I don't think Pat Off Track disagrees with us on the Sabres going to the AHL. He says, not a bad idea. Bring up the Rochester Americs.
There you go.
Are they the Americans? The Rochester Americans? Americs?
I don't pay attention
sort of Native
to
American tribe.
Any 2-bit league that involves Buffaloes.
There you go.
No offense, Pat.
There you go, Pat. All right, our next Hockey Jesus is when? tomorrow?
No, the Penguins don't play again until Friday. They play Minnesota. They've got actually 3 home games, which is surprising because they're going to be going on the road in December quite a bit. They play Minnesota and Seattle back-to-back. Both of those teams are really good. So I think you're going to see some good hockey there.
Okay.
And then they actually, the aforementioned Buffalo Sabres. Yeah. That would be the Wednesday.
That's a win.
That's the Wednesday before. That's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I'll be there with my son. Should be quite
awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, it'll be a blast.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Nothing like going to hockey with your son. Actually, nothing like going to hockey. I took my wife to a hockey game once.
Hockey games are
and she loved it. She hates sports, like abhors sports.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When we were there and the game that we saw against Washington, sitting down low, just above where the glass is, some of the best seats. If money was not an object, and you can make that happen by hitting that subscription button.
Perfect play.
If money was no object, that's what I would do. I'd buy seats right there.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I got to tell you, I mean, as a sports fan, I enjoy baseball games for all the reasons everybody does. I enjoy a football game once in a while live. I'd prefer to watch it on TV because I like to get into more detail. But the atmosphere is always great. But live hockey is one of the most exciting things you can ever watch. So if you haven't been to a live hockey game, go. I mean, even if it's a college game or so, I mean, it's just nonstop action, and it's it's a pure sport.
It's fantastic.
It's a pure sport. So I do agree with you there. I wish I could get into watching it a little bit more on TV. I'm trying. I committed to myself this year that if the Penguins got into the playoffs, I'm going to be unable to watch every single playoff game. Just my work schedule prevents it.
Right.
But the games that I can watch, I'm going to tune into at least a period, if not the whole game.
That's all we're asking.
And see what.
Once you get started, trust me, you'll be like, oh yeah, there's a hockey game on tonight.
All right,
before you know it, you'll be watching the Canucks playing the Calgary Flames.
I don't see that happening. But hey, look, I'll watch the Penguins. You're watching the Sports Porch Black and Gold right now. If you're watching us, you're watching on YouTube live every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, on X or Twitter as well. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Click notifications. You'll know when we're live. We do post-game shows after the Steelers game. Hockey Jesus does his podcast, his preaching after every Penguins game. And we do drop the podcast right after the show in the iHeartRadio app, Spotify, anywhere you get your friggin' podcasts. What the hell is this? It's What the Hell Are We Watching? And what is that? Well, look, you guys give to us, so we give back to you. And what we give back to you is a little bit of what do you give to us, which is time. Time is precious. We all know that. I'm still in the middle of trying to figure out whether time is real or not, but that's another show too.
That sounds like a Netflix show, actually.
Is time real? But you spend a lot of time, I'm sure, looking at trailers on Netflix, Hulu, Prime, Paramount Plus, Peacock, Tubi, HBO Max, Ruby, Booby, Hooby, Dooby, Looby, as Schwaber would say. And what we want to do is we want to give you that time back. We go out there, we search through all of these trailers, we pick things to watch, and then we decide whether or not they're good or bad to save you that time. You have to watch the whole season of whatever show you're watching before you can give a review, or the entire movie or documentary. Now, HJ, you didn't send me one this week, and that's okay because
because I'm in the middle of 3 shows right now, and none of them got finished.
There you go. Pat says, Task, that's all I got. It was a Philly show. Listen, Pat, I'm going to watch that. It's on HBO Max. I heard it's pretty good. It's on my list. But I do have a show here. We've talked about it a couple times. And it's a great show. I just finished the 4th season. Slow Horses on Apple TV.
You love Gary Oldman. That makes a lot of sense.
I do love Gary Oldman, number 1. Number 2, Jack Lowden is on it. I got to tell you, man, seriously, this is one of the more entertaining spy shows that I've ever watched, ever. And the premise is pretty simple. The premise is that MI5, which is Britain's CIA, basically.
Right.
They have a division where they send, I'm going to use a horrible word, but what they consider their retarded agents to it. That's the only way I can describe it. So, and
people who wouldn't make the grade otherwise.
That's right. By the way, I don't mean like mentally challenged. I mean like these people were highly trained, super spies or whatever.
Right.
And they totally fuck something up like ridiculously.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, you're being demoted. And it's a place called Slough House, which I think is some sort of Cockney accent for slow horse. You're a slow horse.
Gotcha.
So Gary Oldman is the agent in charge of Slough House. They're the misfits of MI5.
So he's the biggest misfit of them all.
He's considered the biggest misfit. And I got to tell you, somehow the biggest misfits at MI5 constantly save the world in spite of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And the banter between them and the competition between them and what they call the park, which is the official MI5 headquarters, is legendary. Gary Oldman's acting is absolutely on point and legendary. And it's as if you took a Mission Impossible and you added quite a bit of humor in everyday life. And it's kind of like these spies live everyday life and they stumble upon these things and they turn into huge problems that are going to destroy the world.
Right.
And then they're basically between the official spies that are the good spies, the CIA, the pros, and the guys that were deemed the misfits, they run each other in circles until they win. It's just, there's no other way to describe it. Slow horses.
Sounds
you got to start at season 1. Slow Horses on Apple TV Plus. I'm going to tell you right now, it is a true thumbs up. Pat off track. Gary Oldman's character in True Romance was Drexel Spivey. So there's that.
Hey, I could fill you in on what's going on in Survivor if you'd like. It's not over yet, but I could give you an update.
No, I don't want an update at all.
Because you're going to get the end of the season synopsis.
I'd rather just wait for the end of the season synopsis and suffer.
Hey, if you come back next week, I will have the Houston news.
Ooh, I'm watching that too.
I'm watching that.
Maybe we can do
I love it.
All right, listen,
So
guys.
far.
Listen, guys.
If I gave it
A review.
I'm
Yeah,
not
you're not going to.
I'm not
You're
allowed.
trying to break protocol already.
Nope. I'm
Okay.
not going to give a review.
All right. Are you sure?
I'm also watching The Diplomat,
Okay. Yeah. All right.
just in case you're wondering.
All right, guys. Listen, this is the Sports Black and Gold. Thanks for being here. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Help us grow this channel. Click notifications every Monday night at 7 p.m. We are on Eastern Time. I drop the podcast right after the show on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your friggin' podcasts. Visit thesportsportshop.com. We're going to have some more gear up there. We'll see you on the post-game show. For Hockey Jesus over here to my right and my left, depending upon what you're looking at, I'm your technical director. We'll see you next week.
I'll see you Friday.
And he'll see you Friday. I am out.
Come back to us, Schwaber.